Howdy, I'm Ben Solak, and this is the Play Sheet. This week, we're doing scouting reports on all the top quarterbacks in the 2023 NFL Draft, and we are starting with the man himself, the presumed first overall pick, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. With Bryce Young, we have to start by addressing the elephant in the room, no matter how small the elephant is. Bryce Young came in at the NFL Combine at 5'10" and 204 pounds, which, firstly, he's not 204 pounds. He played at like 190. But secondly, even at those measurements, makes him one of the smallest quarterbacks in NFL Combine history. When he enters the league and becomes a starter, he will be the smallest quarterback in the NFL. Now, when draft analysts who are clearly sub 5'10" and sub 204 pounds bring up Bryce Young's height and weight as like a bad thing, there's an instinct to demand, like, why does this matter? Why should I care? And that's a reasonable instinct. It can certainly feel like talking about how tall the single season record holder for Alabama passing yards and passing touchdowns is missing the forest for the trees. But from an NFL draft perspective, where we're scouting a guy, trying to understand his play style, his traits, what he is and what he can become, Young's entire game is defined by his height and his weight. You cannot divorce his play style, his strengths and his weaknesses from his size. It's just all encompassing. In order to understand Young, you have to start from his frame. So that's where we're gonna start. The first area of Young's game that's really affected by his size is actually how he drops back. I want you to watch this Bryce Young drop back and compare it to the drop back of Drew Brees when he was with the Saints. Brees is a comp that Bryce Young gets a lot because he was also really short. The critical difference is how they start their drop back. Brees' drop back is very traditional, right? He turns his hips so they're perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, and then he drops back with that right foot being the first step. Bryce Young keeps his hips open to the line of scrimmage. They're parallel to the line of scrimmage, and he starts his drop back with his left foot. Young is dropping back like this because by keeping his hips facing the line of scrimmage and by dropping back, staying upright, right? Not turning and taking that big wide step, he stays taller. It allows him to more easily see over the line of scrimmage at his, smaller height than it would otherwise if he took that more traditional drop back. It's important to note that Brees is an exceptional short quarterback. He was so good throwing like quick and underneath into the short middle, to the intermediate middle, finding the windows between the offensive line. Typically, we see short quarterbacks in the NFL, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, struggle to throw to that intermediate middle of the field. And the reason is because they can't easily see over the line. In order to combat the difficulties of seeing over the line, Young uses this drop back. He has that left foot go back, that punch step is what it's called, and he keeps his hips open, and you'll even see him, he'll bounce on his toes. He'll stay with his heels off the ground all the way through his drop back, even when he gets set in the pocket, all to better see over the line. But there is a cost to the drop, and the first cost is in timing. Let's go to play action. This is Young this season against Arkansas. He's going to end up throwing this like 12-yard in-breaking route, which routes that break inside at like 10 to 15 yards are really important to this Alabama offense. We're going to see a lot of them. Now, I want to start with Young's drop back. We'll go from the end zone view to see this. First thing we're going to see is the punch step, right? Boom. There it is. That left foot comes back. Watch how long his hips stay parallel to the line of scrimmage, right? They're just going to be parallel, and then he's finally going to flip to perpendicular now, right? Perpendicular to the line of scrimmage now that he's ready to throw. The other thing that you see in this whole drop back is look at the toes. Look the whole time. Look, he's up off his heel. He's up off his heels. He's bouncing on his toes. He wants to make sure that he can see this throwing window as the route develops inside, right? As we said, this drop back can screw with your timing. This throw should be a 3-step drop and out, right? You might be able to 3-step and hitch, right? You hit that back foot and then you take that little hop step forward. But in reality, this should be 3-step, land on the back foot, drive this sucker. Because what you're worried about, and this is what we see as the play runs, you're worried about this linebacker right here, right? He's got vision right now on this receiver, but if this receiver doesn't pull him, he's going to be sitting right here in this window we want to throw the ball to. So we have a small area, man. We do not have a big space to deliver this football. So it's got to be out on time. But because Young takes that extra step in his drop back, the ball's out a little late. Watch the whole play now, seeing how Young's extra step in the pocket means that he's just a little bit late, right? He's just landing in his throwing stance now. This ball comes out a little bit late. It has to be behind the receiver. Look at the placement. It's going to come to his back shoulder. And then the receiver's worried about the hit, and he's going to drop it. And it's a drop. It's a pass breakup. It's whatever you want to call it. You can see it again from the end zone view. Extra step. Watch where this ball arrives. it's got to arrive behind the receiver here because you're worried about this linebacker coming in. Now, should this be a catch? Yes. Did a routine throw become a little bit more challenging because Young was a little bit behind on the throw because he takes that extra step in his drop back? Yes, and this is what we care about at the NFL level. You can find just a little bit of lateness all over Young's film, especially on crossers. Oftentimes he's pulling receivers back into the line of scrimmage. They got to come back to come get the football. And it doesn't feel like a big deal on the Alabama film. But in the NFL, these little things get magnified. The odd timing of the dropbacks, the way they don't perfectly marry up to the routes, doesn't just cause throws to be late, it also causes accuracy drain. That throw to Arkansas, a little bit behind the receiver, takes an easy catch, makes it a little bit more challenging. We also see accuracy minimize yards after the catch. This is another great example of the little stuff, like what feels immaterial, actually mattering quite a bit. 3rd and 10. 45 seconds left, tie game, Neyland Stadium, Tennessee, undefeated SEC opponent. This is it. This is all the marbles. Young's going to get a first down here. He's going to get his team in field goal range with timeouts, opportunity to win it in regulation. You and I know the end of the story. Alabama loses this game. It's not because of this throw, but this throw's got a little something to do with it. In breaking route, 12 to 15 yards. You can already see the receiver leaning over to go get this football. And that's because it's a little bit inaccurate. It didn't lead him out into space. It didn't hit him in stride. He's got a pursuing defender, and then there's a middle of the field safety that could close in. If this hits the receiver in stride, he's got the potential to turn up field, beat the angle, and score 6. Ball game. You can get away with having a drop back that often puts you in throwing positions that aren't exactly on time and they aren't exactly clean if you have high tier arm strength, because when you're a little bit late, you can hammer that thing in there and you can get the ball there on time. When you're a little bit behind, you can zip that thing and you can ensure that you hit the receiver in stride. Young doesn't have high tier arm strength. At the NFL level, Young's going to have an average to maybe slightly below average arm. This is another area in which it would really just benefit Young to be bigger. It'd just be a larger guy with a bigger arm and with a bigger stride and the ability to just put more juice into his throws. But that's not available to him. Okay, really useful play for Young here. We can actually touch back on the whole timing thing, right? Watch him. He's going to peek to the top of the screen. He's at the peak of his drop right now, right? Got a sit route right here, and then this route's breaking to the inside. Young's going to take a look at it. He's not going to like it, and then he's going to come to work to this 3 receiver side, right? But watch our receiver right here just kind of, I mean, it's a big window, right? And this is where, again, like, sometimes Young passes on middle of the field throws that he should take. Sometimes Young's timing is off, and he should probably linger a beat on this and actually deliver it, hitch up and throw. But whatever. He passes on, he comes to the 3 receiver side. Young loves to create. He loves to move outside of the pocket, establish the threat of his legs, and warp defenses accordingly, right? So when he gets outside of the pocket, look how quickly he sees what's happening right here. Like, he's already starting to get ready to throw. Number 1, running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of space, brother. And we have the ability now to create a scramble drill throw. Young's not going to reset his feet, though. Super clean area, right? He could right now stop his momentum, set his feet, and throw the ball into the middle of the field. He elects not to. He loves to throw on the move. And when he does, ball just dies on him. From the end zone view, you can see this nice and clearly. Okay, look front side. I don't like that. I'm going to move. And then, all right, see Gibbs. The ball just falls into the turf, right? If you're able to hit this in stride right here and he can keep running, he's got that safety coming in to beat, and then it's Jahmyr Gibbs in open space. It's your running back against the secondary. It's your running back in the 3rd level with momentum. Young's got some great throws on the move, and he also has some bad throws on the move. In general, his issues with arm strength just show up a little bit more because he doesn't have his feet tethered into the ground. He's not generating power from the ground up, and he's got to use his whole body to get real mustard on throws. When he doesn't have that, when he's on the move, things are shaky. Now, when he does have that, when Young can really put his whole tuchus into a throw, it's sick. You want to talk yourself into Bryce Young, I got to play for you. 3rd and 8, late game situation. Pressure look from the Bulldogs. Everyone's coming. I mean, this is everybody, and then it's just locked up man everywhere. And you're going to get a bender right here from number 3. Bender's going to be working in the middle of the field. Young already in his little hips open drop back. He's just kind of backpedaling. Watch the throw. This is a grown-up throw. This is an NFL throw. This is a son of a gun of a throw. So you got to relocate in the pocket a little bit. He probably could just stay here and step up, but he's Bryce Young, so he likes to kind of leak out of the pocket a little bit, and now he's going to invite some pressure. He's going to invite contact, but watch him step into the throw. On the money. First down, ball game. Watch the feet, right? Where's this velocity coming from? Gets his back foot loaded up. You can see him load on the back foot. He probably steps a little bit too far back, but look at how much weight is in there. Look at that knee catch all that weight, right? And then step into the throw and drive, right? And he doesn't like get full step in and full turn. He kind of has this little like hop throw to him. But this is velocity from the ground up, right? This is making sure you get tethered to the earth so you can uncork this thing. So when Young actually loads those legs up and throws from a clean platform, he has requisite NFL arm strength. He absolutely does. It's not a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson arm. It's more of like your Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts sort of a tier, but it'll get the job done. So Young can access those vertical and intermediate throws that he must hit at the NFL level. But he typically does it best when he's connected to the ground, when he has a clean drop back and a clean throwing platform. And watching his film, you do got to ask yourself, how often is the guy actually going to play like that? Of course, to this point, we're largely focusing on the ways that Young's creativity and his ability to operate without timing negatively affect his play. We're talking about how you kind of have to work around it when you design and plan an offense for him. That's the bad news. The good news is that it's freaking sick. He's an incredible playmaker. Young has a ludicrous amount of film where he is creating throwing lanes and throwing opportunities and throwing platforms that just don't exist in the face of pressure from weird angles. The amount of drops that Young has had on incredible highlight reel throws just goes to show you, like, he wasn't even working with the typical Alabama like talent advantage. He had receiver issues. They had protection issues. Young was carrying this offense on the back of his creativity. Favorite play to describe how tough Bryce Young's life was at Alabama. 2-point conversion attempt against LSU. Young's going to point out to the running back, like, hey, guess what? That guy right there, he's blitzing, just so that way you know. And Bryce Young's 100% correct. He's blitzing. Now, the line gets the protection wrong, right? This tackle probably needs to work wide and handle this rusher. The running back stays to this side. Basically, somebody blows the protection, and this outside rusher's coming free right at Bryce Young. Watch the move he puts on this kid. He breaks his ankles, okay? And so then he breaks his ankles with his eyes up the whole time, all right? He fake going to the outside, and then he steps up into the pocket. He's going to find this slant window with pressure coming in on him. He's going to step up into a broken pocket and still find a throwing platform. Incomplete, but watch from the end zone view. This is what he does that nobody else does. This is the superpower, right? Where other guys would not have a chance to find a platform from which to throw the football, Bryce Young throws like weirdly accurate footballs. It's obnoxious. So, okay, hesitation, screw you. Then hop up and reset your feet, right? Ready to throw, breaking into the window. And look where this ball arrives. As his momentum's coming forward, as his back is getting knocked into his legs, catch a football. It's such a good play, and Young doesn't get paid off for it. Breaks my heart. That player is the player you're banking on with Bryce Young. That player is the player that very well could go first overall. It's the field vision, the instincts, and the quickness, the twitchiness that had his head coach, Nick Saban, when talking about like why he should be the first overall pick and how his measurables stack up against the other guys. Saban referenced Young as a point guard, which is such a helpful metaphor for understanding Young. That image of a point guard doesn't just explain Young's ability to like see the full field and find passes, but his coolness, his comfort under pressure and with contact coming, that lightning quick release of the football, right? The sense of command that he has over the field. Extremely point guardian. And the one final way to highlight Young's point guardness is in the way he creates passing lanes for himself. He understands space. He knows how to move the bodies. He knows how, if I get this guy over there, then I'm going to get this room there. He manipulates coverage, and that's a great sign of a processor that's going to be able to work at the NFL level. So let's start with anticipation, just understanding how the bodies are going to move. Remember, we talked about those 12, 15-yard in breakers. Alabama lives on them, loves them, needs them. Going to get one right here, working to the middle of the field. This linebacker looks like he might be in the window, right? But I mean, his eyes are right here on this underneath route. His hips are, he cannot turn and run with this route. He is all his direction, all his energy facing that underneath receiver. And so Bryce Young, with pressure bearing down in his face, anticipate the window, deliver a ball. Now here, a touchdown against Ole Miss. They're going to throw a telestrator up. Guess what route it is? Yeah, about 10-yard in breaker. Look at where Young's eyes and the angle of his body suggests where he's going to throw this ball in his drop, right? As he drops back, where does it look like he's throwing this thing? I mean, the whole way, I'm throwing it left, I'm throwing it left, I'm throwing it over here. You have this running back right here. That's where Young's entire body positioning makes it look like this ball's coming. So this linebacker is going to take, I swear, like a one step downhill, right? One step to that running back. Young flips his eyes, flips the hips, right? Got that quick, snappy release. Just enough of a window. 6 points. LSU now. The guys at the bottom of the screen apparently do not know what the route is. Does not matter to Bryce Young. We're going to snap this football. Now, all right, there's the open right there, right? Here's the open. Where's he throwing this ball? To the running back, right? It means the same idea, but it's actually not, because they're going to fake this in-breaking route from the running back, and then they're going to have him run kind of like a fade. And that's what Bryce Young initially wants, all right? LSU reads it nicely, right? I mean, they get it covered up fairly well, but the same effect is achieved when Bryce Young opens to that route. Look at this linebacker start to come. Look at him start to go get connected, because for all he knows, running back's going to stay right there. With pressure in his face, watch Young just sit and wait until this receiver breaks into an open window. Just watch, look at the patience. Okay, and boop. And 23 was there a second ago. If he just stays right here, there's no window, it's a sack. But Young knows, just with where my shoulders are pulling him, he's gonna buzz over. And when he buzzes over, I'll have just enough time. Throw this thing. First down. It's the way Young just sneaks and weaves and slips like Kyrie Irving off a pick and roll. The blink of a release, Steph Curry getting rid of the ball, the finish through contact, the acrobatics, the athleticism of John Morant. All of the point guard imageries are great, but they also serve as a gut punch of a reminder that Young's the smallest guy on the basketball court. Young's just a small dude. It's like I said at the top, all of Young's play points back to his frame, his size, what he is physically capable of. Lack of velocity, the drop back and the way that it affects timing and how well he throws over the middle of the field, his ability to stand tall and deliver in muddy pockets. There's issues with his game that are directly a result of how big he is. But because he has played with those limitations and at such a high level for such a long time, he has become unbelievably good off script when pressured. Dealing with those limitations has made him exceptional and operating outside of structure and against the odds, an underdog taking hit after hit after hit and bouncing back up, finding ways to deliver the football with velocity and distance down the field despite the insufficient arm. He is so impressive, virtuoso player who just might be too small for the NFL level. The player that we see here, and this is critical, is Young's final form. He's gotten so good at playing his particular style of ball, and he's not gonna get taller or bigger or stronger. And so this is kind of what he is. He is a quarterback that inherently takes you off script with deeper dropbacks into backyard football. Again, very reminiscent of short quarterbacks who have come before him. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. And it is so tempting. It's so tempting to watch Young's film and say, well, he's so good off script that I believe in this. This can work, and it can work for a long, long time. But even as like Russ's decade of success in Seattle showed us, he was constantly fighting with Pete Carroll over what the offense would look like. There was always that nagging, looming question of, can you actually generate a real functional pass-happy attack with a player at quarterback who has to play like this? Kyler Murray's career begs questions of longevity. He gets hit a ton. He gets nicked up. He gets banged up. Now he's got a major injury. And even if Young is good early, he's good in the first couple years of his career, you're really worried about what he's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road if he keeps on inviting and taking this insane number of hits that he's already taking. There's no two ways around it. Young is exceptionally small at the NFL level. Doesn't mean he shouldn't be the first overall pick. Doesn't mean he's not ludicrously talented. All of that's true. You're trying to thread a very, very thin eye of the needle if you're picking Young over the rest of the quarterbacks in this class. It's hard enough to take a quarterback early and have him be good. It's harder still to have him be good despite outlier size. That's the challenge with Young. And boy, is watching his film make you feel like he can do it. But it is a tough road to hoe. Thank you for watching the Bryce Young installment of Quarterback Scouting Reports here at the Play Sheet. Subscribe and stay tuned for the rest of the quarterback class. Subscribe and stay tuned for more draft content, for more off-season content. Just click the button, man.